Welcome to the movie Lighthouse, shining a light through the fog of film. My name is James. Crashing my intro.
I'm Laurie.
And I'm Wyndham.
We'll get it right one day. All right, and this is a little special we've got for you. We are going to be reviewing the film Benny Loves You. All right, and I'm just going to give
Benny loves you.
Ta-da! So I'm going to give you a little bit of background about it. So,
is this Benny out of that motel program from the 80s?
Crossroads.
That's the one.
That'd be a bit freaky if Benny did love you from Crossroads.
Benny
all right, so about
very different movie.
5 or 6 weeks ago, I had, as ever, a load of films that we had to watch for the movie Lighthouse, which I was not wanting to watch. Because you know what it's like when you have to do something.
Yeah.
And I was just on Amazon, and this just kind of popped up, and and it was selling it like a Child's Play thing and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, it was kind of right up my street, really. So I stuck it on, and I was just kind of so impressed on so many different levels, which we'll get into, that I spoke to you guys and said, look, check this out. I'd really like to do this as a little review special. And then you both watched it, and I was like, oh, God, I hope they like it. Anyway, let me give you some facts about it. It was released in 2019. It's directed by Karl Holt, written by Karl Holt. He did the screenplay. The music was by John Bowe. And it was a winner of Fright Fest 2020 for Best Film First Blood, and it was a nominee at the Razorreel 2020. So let me see what else it's. I don't know if this is right or not, but it said on my Rotten Tomatoes it gets 100%, which is pretty damn cool.
What?
Yeah. And notable actors: Karl Holt plays Jack.
I was going to say, was it just Karl Holt reviewing it on Rotten Tomatoes? Not that it's not a good film, but 100% is really punchy.
So it would be that and Paddington 2 would be the only two films in history that gets 100%.
So Claire Cartwright played Dawn, George Colley played Richard, James Parsons plays Ron, Anthony Styles plays Bad Cop, Darren Benedict plays Good Cop, Lydia Horahan plays Tara, David Woman plays Phil, and I think Jennifer Healey plays Ashley's mother.
Yay!
And Bella Munday plays Ashley. Katrina McDonald plays Jack's mum. Greg Barnett was David. Logan Murray was young Jack, and Greg Page was Jack's dad.
Wow, you're calling them all out. Wow,
well, I thought I was halfway there, and I wanted to give the mother a shout. So let's have a clip.
This is Benny. As long as you have him by your side, nothing can ever hurt you.
Not even the demons in the hallway.
Apart from them.
I'm in the area with a buyer on Monday. It's getting quite lonely. It's more of a family home.
I have to get this finished.
Lots of people are saying you're already finished.
You haven't evolved. I can't send my creative director to New York in a Goonies t-shirt.
Can't be bargained with. Can't be reasoned with. He doesn't feel pity or remorse. He absolutely will not stop until you are dead.
What's this got to do with me?
Do you want another cuppa?
All right, guys. So first off, you've heard my thoughts about it.
Well, no, we heard your thoughts that you saw it was on Amazon, and you went, "Oh, I think that could be up my street." So once you watched it, did you find it was deeply up your street?
Oh, absolutely.
Sunk deep in your street.
I thought, in a way, it had been written for me. It just reminded me of The League of Gentlemen. That kind of slightly surreal, warped kind of comedy with that kind of horror element going on. I think it won me over from the moment where he was having his birthday party at the start, and his dad was put on the shelf, and then the shelf fell on the dad, and the mum tripped and got killed by what is it?
Cheese and pineapple
cocktail sticks. And I just thought this is absolutely
pineapple and cheese on cocktail sticks in the face. There you go.
Yeah, and I was just impressed all the way through. I loved I was kind of blown away by. I'm still not quite sure if it was animation or puppetry or a mixture of both. But I'll tell you what, for me, I mean, we know what dodgy CGI looks like, but the effects I thought were great. Anyway, that were my first thoughts. Wyndham, what did you think?
I think I agree. I think my first thoughts were this has got that kind of proper. I mean, you haven't mentioned what the budget was. I don't know whether you know, but it's got that kind of
no, I couldn't
very
find it.
British, low budget horror, taking nothing too seriously, really kind of piss-takey, but still really very entertaining. And I think when you, in the first 10 minutes or whatever, when you have his birthday and his parents are killed in the manners that they are killed, you kind of go, yeah, this has got some legs to it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What about you, Laurie?
Yeah, no, I really loved it. I think similarly, it was around that part when the demise of the parents happened. I was like, right, okay, I'm in, because it just stinks of that whole, like you say, that low budget kind of thing. But you can see there's love, there's craft in it. It's been done very well. But that low budget, that scene in particular, it screams of Peter Jackson's early films, Bad Taste or Brain Dead. That whole kind of vibe. And when you get the shot of the mother with a face, impaled by cheese and pineapple chunks on cocktail sticks, it's just like, it's proper Peter Jackson jazz. But I absolutely loved it. I suppose probably worth kind of framing what this story is.
Oh yeah, give us a bit of a synopsis, Mr. Wise.
I'll give a stab. So you've got this dude called Jack, who's basically he's a toy designer. He still lives with his parents. He's basically a man-child, really. And then this horrendous happening happens to his parents. And basically that means that his childhood home is under jeopardy of having to be sold. He just ticks along at his job at the toy design place. So he has to kind of sort of pull his socks up, become a real man. And part of doing that is throwing away his beloved Teddy. And he does it it's not really quite ceremonious as you see in like sort of Toy Story, where Andy he just literally just chucks it in a plastic box downstairs and like whatever. But this film, in this universe, there is some entity where a loved toy, if it is discarded, comes back and kicks your ass, man. And that's your Benny. That's his Teddy, and it kind of comes back and wreaks havoc.
I never actually looked at it like that, to be honest. Yeah, you're absolutely right, because we get like a little before the credits scene, don't we, with another toy, and we hear.
Yeah, there's this thing, isn't there? There's this strange hex, and again, that kind of similar, a little bit like Gremlins. I mean, at the end of the film, you get kind of like this sort of voiceover goes on, and it goes over to like a garbage bin or whatever, and some toys obviously been discarded in there, and then the smoke starts billowing from there. So there's like this kind of do not dream of discarding one of your beloved toys. I was thinking about this though. So if it was me, I'd have like a Manelian Falcon, a demonic Manelian Falcon, like coming around trying to kill me.
I'd have like a book.
Yeah.
I'd have a bear, a teddy bear.
See? What was your teddy bear called, Win?
It was called Bobby, because I was very imaginative at the time.
Oh, very good.
Bobby.
All right, so let's get back.
He sounds terrifying. Actually, I might have a Castle Grayskull as well running around after me too.
So I want to talk a little bit about the characterization, because I think that's one of the strengths of this film. So
yeah, I
mean, what won me over was the boss, and just the way. So this guy was, again, they're all kind of heightened, stylized sort of caricatures, aren't they? But he only stammers on the word F, which I thought was just inspired. So,
especially when he gets angry and has some fucking things to say.
Yeah. And then we've got the kind of big, the rival, the work rival, I suppose, who again isn't
who is gonna die. You know Ben is gonna screw that guy so bad.
But I quite liked his development, really, because it wasn't just, usually those people are just on the side, cause a lot of chaos and then die, but he became like quite in on part of the action, part of the story.
Yes.
And I love the fact that he was a massive Prince fan. And obviously, I think this was written before Prince's demise, which doesn't really make any difference. But, I thought that was a nice touch. And just finally, the one I wanted to talk about was the love interest. What was her name?
Oh, she's really great.
Well, she's really great because she's kind of quite different as well.
She's the only kind of borderline grounded character you have in this. All the characters you get are very, like you say, kind of heightened. That kind of Peter Jackson again, brain dead kind of, very caricature, funny, surreal.
But you can tell, you can really tell the trouble behind her eyes and the kind of, I really liked her. And then obviously, she had that wonderful Phoebe Cates moment where, she started talking about her own doll.
Yeah.
Right. I've talked enough. What do you think about the characters, guys?
I think I agree with you. I think there's that. If you kind of flip it to something like Shaun of the Dead, where there's
absolutely.
that kind of characterization where you've got the Jack is this he's just this man-child who is unfulfilled, but you've then got his love interest who is his boss or a senior manager within the toy company that he works for. But there's always that kind of really Britishness about all of the characters that, they'll go so far and everything will be going to hell, and then it'll be like, maybe we should have a cup of tea. Or
yeah. There is literally that line.
It's just really lovely. And the guy who is the professional rival, what I really like about him is ordinarily, if this was an American film, he'd be super handsome and he'd be super slick.
Yeah.
And he'd be on top of everything. This guy's a bellend. There's no two ways about it. And you can tell he's a bellend early doors. And then he continues to kind of prove it. Yeah, really good.
All right. So, let's talk a little bit about Benny himself. So that is doll that comes back, comes to life, and he's got a load of catchphrases, hasn't he? Okie dokie, ta-da! And I've just been going around saying these. I showed this film to my nieces last week, and they loved it. They absolutely, 16, 17, and they lapped it up completely. Got the humor, got it. So I was really pleased about that. What did you think about? Was it an animation or was it a puppet? I think it was a bit of both, wasn't it?
I think it's a bit of both. Yeah. But like you say, the way Karl Holt, the guy that stars as Jack, he does a brilliant performance as Jack, gives the guy depth, funny, great comedy timing. But the film that he's made here is such a really great finish. Obviously, you can tell it's that low budget, but it really is genuinely on par potentially with kind of Shaun of the Dead. Even though I would not be surprised that the budget of this was considerably lower than Shaun of the Dead, but he's done a brilliant job. Some of the shots, like whenever they're burying something in the back garden, he sort of deliberately kind of slows down the scene, does a wide shot and makes it really quite an arty moment as he's throwing like a teddy bear or something or a head or whatever into the ground, whatever. But it looks great. And like you say, the animation, the slow motion, sometimes you get some slow-mo shots of Benny kind of doing like a Matrix kind of thing. It looks great.
Yeah.
So he's done brilliant, really brilliant.
And
it's cute as well.
No, I was just going to say, there is that, whilst you watch it thinking low budget, you're constantly sat there going, shit, this is low budget. It is such a good finish. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And like the shots of the robot, I thought were brilliant. I mean, they have to be animation, surely. I don't know. But the fact that I'm
when they have the fight,
the knife fight.
So.
No, I think they trained a robot and
it's a midget in a suit.
The other thing, and I wasn't sure if I was keen on it to start with, but the girlfriend that comes around to the house and's got the cat. All right, babes.
Yeah.
But when she comes back and they do that kind of thing where you see her walking through the house and then it keeps flash forwarding to glimpses from like the future.
Yeah.
It's really, really quite clever, really.
Yeah. And he's got it all in there because when you mentioned about the League of Gentlemen, they kind of that almost sort of reminds you a little bit of like the odd Inside Number 9 episode where they're kind of sort of, they change with the editing. You see things at different points, but he's playing around loads in this, and it's obviously you can tell he is a massive film fan because the amount of references he's got into this bad boy. I mean, like obviously Puppet Masters, which is a film that we reviewed. So definitely go and check that out, listeners. Great film.
Do you mean Puppet Masters or Puppet Master?
Oh, sorry, Puppet Master. Big difference. Puppet Masters avoid. James loves it, but no one else loves it. Puppet Master, that one. But Close Encounters is in there. Gremlins, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Aliens, Goonies,
Terminator.
I mean,
it's all in there. If you love all that stuff, if you love you kind of like, a low budget little film, which no one's probably ever heard of, it's definitely going to be, I definitely think it could easily become a cult film for sure. It's that good. And it's that kind of obscure. It could be that wonderful little culty film. And like you say, your nieces watched it, they got it, they thought it was funny.
So which pleased me as well, because I felt, wow, this really appeals to me, and obviously all those references, it's kind of my kind of era, but my nieces loved it as well. So I have been like messaging a little bit with my mate Karl, the director, because I wanted to did I not mention this to you guys?
Wow.
I did mention it
7 or 8 times.
I didn't want it to influence whether you like the film or not, you see.
I've been drinking a lot lately and my memory's shocking.
But he's kind of wiped out because he's doing loads of interviews trying to promote in America. But
brilliant.
He's done everything from start to finish with this film. He's done the whole bloody thing. And he was saying, they had quite a few more inventive deaths, but they had to cut back due to budget restrictions. But I don't see any point where, we kind of miss out. I think he gets the balance just right, really.
Yeah, and you definitely don't feel it could do with a bit more here, or there's a slack piece. It's pretty tight.
All right. Any final thoughts then?
Other than it's just a jolly good movie. Go and watch it.
Yeah, just really well made. It's that early, Karl Holt, I mean, props to him, man. He did fantastic. He's kind of following in that time-long tradition of, first kind of film, low budget, but they're starring in it. They wrote it, they did all this, directed it. Like Carnival of Souls, remember that guy, Herc Harvey? Like we said, Peter Jackson, Shane Carruth, who did Primer, which is another great film that we covered. Cassavetes, Keaton, Chaplin. I'm getting carried away here, but
Chaplin, wow.
Yeah. The toy factory reminded me of Kenner, the Kenner building that made the Star Wars toys. I don't think that was where they did shoot it, but it looked very much like that. Okay. And it's just dawned on me, I know exactly what toy would come back and haunt me. It would have been my spy briefcase.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it? Your spy briefcase?
It had like a little Luger and a secret compartment and my papers and some handcuffs and keys. So
all right then. Well, as it's a review, I don't think we mark it or anything like that, but I think it gets kind of top mark thumbs up from us. Is that right? Would you agree?
Yeah. Great little film. Great little. Yeah, it's definitely got cult status. I thought it was really great. I want to see more stuff from Karl.
You can download it from Amazon. It's only a few quid. Buy it, support it, tell everyone about it. Let's make Karl a bit of, let's make his money back for a start, I reckon. Because I reckon he invested a lot of it, not just his life, but his soul into this. All right. Okay, well, I'll see you guys very soon, where I am going to be ranting quite a lot about why everyone seems obsessed with changing the end of what happened to Charles Manson and his victims. Because I've seen 5 films which all change the ending. What is going on with that? I will leave you with that thought until next time.
All right.
All right, guys.